In this video, we'll talk about one of the most fundamental problems if you have a pump, but material isn't coming from the pump or it's moving too slowly. Number one is air supply to the unit, and if there are electrical solenoid valves, making sure that all the functions are correct and that the valves are turning on. You'll also want to review things such as the air pressure. Check the pump pressure regulator, make sure that it's within operating range. Generally speaking, pumps need 30 psi to function properly. If they're 30 or below, they can stall out. 40 psi to 50 psi is pretty typical. If you have air supply and you're sure that the pump is getting air and should be running, there are a few other things to check downstream. Number one would be a filter. If you have an adhesive or sealant, there generally is no filter because it is too thick of a material, but if you're running grease or oil, you'll want to look for that filter, remove the element, and inspect it. If the element is dirty, sometimes you can clean them. Oftentimes it's easier to replace them, especially with grease, because it's very hard to clean the grease out properly. So if you have a good filter, you've replaced the element, you're sure that's not the problem. There might be something else downstream that's holding it up. Another thing to note with ram style pumps is that you want to make sure that the lever is in the down position so that the ram is actually pressing into the container. If that's not happening, the ram and the inductor might be sitting still while the grease is being used, and that creates a vacuum. So the pump will then cavitate. Usually sounds like it's running too fast, and you'll find that it's essentially trying to pump air, so you're not getting material downstream. That's usually something you can hear, and you'll want to shut the pump off right away and make sure that that ram is in the down position. If that has happened, you'll want to also re-bleed the lines in the pump to make sure to get the air pockets out. If you're reviewing the air supply system and the controls and you find any faulty valves or air leaks, if there are any replacement parts you need, feel free to give GP Reeves a call. We'll be happy to help.